This is the Real Good Procast with your hosts, Declan DeBarb, Ian Blumenthal, and Marshall Heath.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Real Good Procast. My name is Marshall Healy. Joining me, as always, is Ian Blumenthal.
What's up, world?
Declan DeBarb.
How's it going, everybody?
And producer Seb, who is Micheless, as he likes it.
Hey! Seb's back from
Newmarket?
Newmarket. He's back from the Atlantic Coast. He was on this most recent season of Deadliest Catch.
Okay. That's why he goes on vacation, just to go get his episodes filmed real quick.
Yeah, I have a side gig going.
I mean, do you want more pay? We can pay you more.
Can you double?
Yeah, we'll double
So
it.
double from zero
Yeah.
to a zero.
Send the check.
Send them checks.
Do you know who did get sent the check?
Oh, Mitchell fucking
We're getting right
Marner.
into this. Mitch Marner.
Nikita Zaitsev? Oh, wait. What?
Cody Cece.
My bad.
Just under 11, 10.9
893.
893
Man, it's his number, dude.
for
Or sorry,
6
it
years.
was his number.
Yeah, Dougie's number.
And his and Junior.
6-year deal. The holdout is over. Our long national nightmare is over.
National nightmare.
That's
What do you
stealing a
mean
line from Gerald Ford.
national?
Well, Vancouver to Newfoundland, they were talking about this because, I mean, what else are we going to talk about?
Vancouver to Newfoundland.
What else are we going to talk about?
Who
It's
knit
hockey
you, bud?
news.
Do you see that Leafs video? It was like the Newfoundland slang, and it was like, "Who knit you?" And no one knows what it is, but it's like, "Who are your parents?"
Who
It's like the weirdest sayings. Okay, sorry.
No,
Off
that makes-
topic.
well, no,
Some Leafs
it's
got
Leaf
screeched
stuff.
in too.
And yeah,
That
the Leafs
was-
got screeched in. Saw Matthews kissing the cod because they were recording this. Maple Leafs and Sens are playing their first pre-games in St. John's. I don't think Marner's in the lineup for this one, or is he?
I think he's
He
playing
is.
tomorrow.
No, he is.
Is
Oh,
he?
He's in the
Oh, he's
lineup
playing
tonight.
tonight.
Yeah.
Maddie's playing tomorrow.
Okay.
And Barry and Muzzin are first line D pairing right now, and it's the Tavares Janssen
Okay.
Marner line is first.
Yeah, I know.
And then it's like Goat is second line.
I know.
center
So
right
where
now.
he
Or Spezza.
deserves
No, sorry, Spezza.
to be
Yeah.
Frederick Gauthier, top 6 player.
Like in 1980s when you could be a unit and not
is
that
true.
fast and you were sick.
That is true. Well, I mean, Spezza is going to be that way now, but he's fourth line.
Yeah, but
so.
at least
and he's
on
also
our
getting
team.
he's also getting like bare minimum.
Yeah, I know. So he's such a good contract.
Well, yeah, he has to get bare minimum because of what's being paid to the first top 4 guys: Nylander, Matthews, Tavares, and now Marner.
man, Nylander's contract is like chump change to these
yeah.
guys.
So I guess how do you think Marner feels, and how do you feel about this deal?
Marner should feel awful. I think he's like, I'm getting paid, let's go, and he is, but I think he should feel awful because Nylander, I think they're like almost the same player. I think Nylander had a really bad year and Marner didn't, which is why the contract, and I guess Marner had his good year in his contract year instead because the year before they had the same amount of points. So Marner had a good year, Nylander signed before he had his good year, and then he had a real weird season last season with being holding out, and I don't think it really showed his true potential as a Leaf, but I think that's a steal of a contract. If we're saying, I am still saying Marner, I think that Marner's overpaid, but it doesn't really matter. If you win a cup, fucking who cares, you know?
Also, just to add on to that, I think that, yeah, Marner is an overpay, but for how long is it an overpay? The salary cap is going to go up. There's a new TV deal. Seattle's coming in.
But whoa! I heard apparently from a podcast, the Steve Angle podcast, Adam Wild. He said it, but he said it's not 100%. But he heard that the $750 million that Seattle's putting in does not count towards league revenue, so it will not affect the cap.
Okay, but either way, there's still the new TV deal that'll crank up the cap and also
100%.
just more revenue brought into the league. The league is making more money than I think it ever has.
That would make
Yes,
sense due
yes.
to inflation and just popularity and population-wise.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I mean, Marner, overpay. I don't love him at the 10.9 or $11 million figure that he's at, but how many teams can say that they have their top 9 locked up for the next 2 years? And I think that
And
that's a
no
major
D.
plus. Yeah, but Riley is on one of the most.
But that's a next year problem.
yeah, but and also Riley's on one of the most sweetheart contracts for any defenseman in the league.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. But then with the cap space we have next year, hopefully it goes up. Hopefully the cap goes up. We got to sign Dermott. We got to sign everybody if we can. I don't know if we're going to have that much money, but we do have some young guys coming up. Liljegren. Don't we have to sign Liljegren and Sandin after the end of this year?
I have no clue. But
I don't want to think about that. Let's just the Marner thing happened. Let's go. We're fired up. We have, I think, this season the best team we've had in over a decade for sure.
I think it's second best to the 2001 team.
I was gonna say this is the best team since pre-05 lockout.
Yeah, this is the best team since 2001.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all.
I very much think that if the Leafs can get past Boston this year, and you and I were talking about this, Marshall, on our walk to school, that what would be considered a success this year. I think
Nothing but a cup, man.
if we beat Boston, that it might be smooth sailing.
Dude, man.
But think about the massive morale boost that would bring. Boston is Toronto's boogeyman, right? It's the team that we can't beat regardless. They have our number. They play the opposite style that we do. And they're the team that we haven't beaten in the playoffs, and there's so much
know.
baggage there. I would argue it's the best rivalry right now in the NHL.
But the Leafs have not played another team. Like, these Leafs have never played a different team in the playoffs other than Boston.
Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm stupid.
And they took
Okay.
Washington to
Yeah, they 6 games.
seven?
Six.
They've done better against Washington than I think
No.
Boston.
No, they didn't. It was only 6 games. But
But that
every
Washington
game
team,
went to OT, and it was only 1 goal. Like, literally 5
Yeah.
of the 6 games went to OT, and all the games were within 1 goal. It was crazy.
Like they could have won almost every.
we
game.
went up 2-1 in the series.
yeah. What I'm saying is that they could have won almost every game they lost. Whereas it wasn't.
But we
the
could have
case-
lost every. Like, they were all so tight. The series was
Yeah.
so close. I completely blanked from that. I was like, fuck Boston. They're the only thing I think about all the time.
That's fair.
Just that black, goddamn yellow and white jersey.
Yeah, they live rent-free in my
Yeah.
own head.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit that. Also, going back to our previous point, Sandin and Liljegren don't become free agents
Till
or
year
restricted
after?
free agents until 2022, 2023.
Oh, they're signed in?
Yeah.
Did they do an extension or what?
No, they're entry-level slide candidates, according to Cap Friendly. I don't really know
Not
what that
gonna
means.
lie. Yeah, what does that mean?
But
Okay.
Cap Friendly's usually not wrong.
yeah, no, I'll take it.
All right. So I along with Marner, he's re-signed, but he has a couple new additions, some notable, some interesting, I guess is how I'll put it.
Interesting.
Tyson Barrie was traded for Nazem Kadri. From what I've heard for Leaf fans, that's a mostly positive move. Like 90% positive.
Yeah, and also don't forget to include Kerfoot in that. He's
Oh yes, and
He's
Kerfoot.
a slight downgrade from Kadri at the 3C position, but with that, you're getting Tyson Barrie, I think the best right-handed defenseman the Leafs have had ever.
Like, I can't think of anybody else. Maybe back in like 70, like old guys.
like before we were alive.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
before they invented
Was Tim
color.
Horton right?
Pardon?
Did Tim Horton shoot right or left? I think he was left.
I don't know.
Because I'm thinking about like old Leafs defensemen that are like Hall of Fame legendary guys, but I don't even think they would get destroyed in today's NHL.
But
Obviously.
also, Barrie is basically a fourth forward. He's a hover player. He's not the best in his own zone, but his transition game is out of this world. And playing with a guy like Jake Muzzin, a guy who is fantastic in his own end, a guy who can lay the body, I think that is a very promising pairing heading forward. I would like him to play with Morgan Riley, but we can't have everything we want.
I completely agree, but I don't think Babcock or anyone, and that's what I completely agree with you with the Jake Muzzin thing. I think it fits better with Jake Muzzin because of the offensive ability, and Morgan Riley is also more of the offensive type player, and his defensive game is always improving, and I do think he's getting better in the defensive zone, but he's not as good as I don't think Jake Muzzin in the defensive zone. I'm not saying I think he's worth more because he has the offensive end to his game, but I would still, if you have someone like Barrie who is that offensive carrying defenseman, I don't think you need 2 offensive carrying defensemen on the same line, especially when the top 9 is like so as skilled as it is. on the Leafs.
Yeah, I would argue that the defensemen this year just serve as a vessel to get the puck from our own end to the forward, so they can go and wreck shop, because we basically have trained mercenaries through our top 9.
I keep thinking like the Leafs have so much depth in the forwards, and I can't believe we have them all signed.
And going back to the Mitch Marner contract, because I don't think enough can be said about this contract. It's one of the most interesting RFA signings, I think, in at least recent history, if not ever. I think that there will be books written about this period and a reshuffling of the market where RFAs are starting to get paid what they're worth. Even if it's considered an overpay now, I don't think it will be in 2 years when the cap goes up and Marner continues to improve. But yes, we have these 4 guys signed long-term, but what are the Leafs? The Leafs are an offensively driven team, and they're not going to sacrifice that simply to conform to what the rest of the league is doing. I think that...
What's the rest of the league doing? They're stacking
More-
up like we
I
are.
think the rest of the team is going toward what you guys.
it's
are.
going
Everyone's
more
going to where
towards
we're going.
offense, but
Just
you
speed
still
and
hear it
skill.
in the media that Toronto is not defensive enough. They're throwing all their chips in the offensive end, but I think that Toronto are currently leading the curve
Yeah, but I think
on
I'm
what the
seeing-
future NHL is.
At the end of the day, though, when you look at past Stanley Cup winners, all that matters is, do you have someone who can put the puck in the net, and do
And
you
the
have the
goalie.
goalie that's going to stop it? Because the hot goalie wins the Stanley Cup 9 times out of 10. And
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to, really.
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury, Matt Murray. Like the Pittsburgh Penguins are a prime example of having not good defensive presence.
Yeah.
They have like 1 or 2 good, decent guys on the back
Similar
end.
to the Leafs now.
Chris Letang, like, what was? Oh my God, who am I thinking of? It doesn't matter. But like another Penguins defenseman.
Paul Bissonnette?
Oh my goodness,
No.
Nick Robinson.
man,
Robertson.
he was a forward.
He played D2 on occasion.
He thought he was a defenseman. He played in practices D.
Yeah.
But he forward all the time.
It's like when Dustin Bufflin plays forward. It's like, don't.
you can't do it. No.
So-
But there's this great quote from Kyprios from
Kipper.
2 years ago, where it's something like the Leafs will only go as far as Freddie is going to take them.
100, like that's
And
old man take, but
it's
not really.
it's
sorry, not an old
1,000%
man
correct.
take. That's like I don't usually agree with what Kipper says because Kipper has old man takes. He's not even that old, but he's old man take. But that's something there's nothing you can disagree with in that statement.
Yeah, and I think that the Leafs are doing everything they can to put themselves within shot of winning a Stanley Cup. But I mean, look at what happened last year.
Anything can happen.
St. Louis was 31st at New Year's, so it really you put yourself in contention, and I think that
Really, I never heard that stat once throughout the entire playoffs last year that they were that bad at New Year's. That's a brand new information to me.
yeah,
Yeah, but 2 years ago is a prime example of showing how in the playoffs when we played Boston and we weren't good defensively, but it wasn't about defense. Or even last year, it wasn't even about defense. We
No.
just couldn't get the puck in the back of the net, and we
Wow.
ran to a hot goalie.
I think
Tuukka Rask was hot last year. Tuukka Rask was hot 2 years ago, and Freddie kind of wasn't hot. And it's not that he didn't look like he was playing well because his form looked good, but his numbers didn't look good.
yeah.
And that really mattered. In Game 7, his stats were below 900 in both,
Yeah, no, it's
which you can't win like that.
no, you can't. I didn't mention at the top of the show, but this is a preview of the Eastern Conference. So we're going to be going through each team, and we're going to go a little more in depth on about 3 or 4, including the Leafs, as we just have. But just what we're going to do for each team is we're going to just basically say, do we think they're going to have more or less points than they had last year? And last year, Toronto had 100 points on the number. Do you think they'll have more or less at the end of the regular season this year?
I believe that they will have more.
Okay, so
I'm also going to put my money on more. It's a
Because
young team. They're
that's what-
growing. We've improved categorically at the back, and now we have a full year of William Nylander, a full year of Mitch Marner, John Tavares. That partnership only developing more, and hopefully William Nylander plays with Austin Matthews this year.
I'd also like to add, it's not. Yeah, I know it's not a huge thing, and it's kind of arbitrary now. But having a captain on the team, and they said they're going to announce it. I'm guessing it's Austin Matthews.
Going to be Austin Matthews.
If it
Do you
isn't, if
think-
it's, I wouldn't be mad if it was Riley. But if it's not Riley or Matthews, I'm gonna just be like, "What are you doing?"
But I already know it's going to be Matthews
'Kay,
because it's
I
already
think more
it's just been
from
about
what
confirmed.
from what I've seen,
100%.
more Leaf fans want Riley, but they're not going to be upset at Matthews.
No,
that's
you
the
can't
vibe I'm
because
getting.
he's
Yeah.
the franchise
Yeah.
guy, and Riley's been here through thick and thin. But Matthews is hopefully gonna be here through thick and thin, and he's our guy.
Whoa,
And I think-
whoa! Didn't you hear what Brian Burke said? He's going to leave after 5 years to go play in
But
Arizona.
But then after, you're missing that Matthews was upset at that take. Because why would you go to Arizona when you can't get endorsements there? Like, you can, but you won't.
It is true. I do want him on my Google Home commercials. Is that what?
Those were all the Raptors players.
Yeah,
We're
but
all in those
and-
Google Home commercials.
Yeah, Naz was in one with was it Valanciunas or was it Gasol?
it would not have been Gasol. He was not here long enough to get in commercials.
So then it was Valanciunas, and they were in a Uber Eats commercial.
Yeah. It was. I remember that. That
What-
was so good.
What's the one with Matthews and Marner that's not a
Apple.
camera? No, that's not
Oh.
a camera. There's another one though.
It was
I
the
don't-
phone, the iPhone, because it said "shot on iPhone" by
Mm,
Mitch Marner. Remember?
Was that no? But what the one at the home, where they're playing mini sticks?
I think that is.
That's the same one.
yeah, I think it's the same commercial.
Okay, well, I thought you guys were thinking of the one at the rink.
Also, I think the
Yeah, no, I am.
yeah.
But they're also on the street and stuff. They do like a bunch of stuff.
No, mini sticks like in a living room.
They do a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
In the thing, it says like Austin Matthews shot by Mitch Marner, and then it has like Matthews doing stuff.
I think the biggest loser in the Mitch Marner signing is Kasperi Kapanen. He got his.
I thought you were gonna say Darren Dreger.
It is Darren Dreger, but it's also Kasperi Kapanen because he was finally starting to get some sponsorship stuff, and now Mitch is back to take them all.
Just ruin everything.
Rest in peace. Moving on now to last year's President Cup winning team, who were then promptly swept by Columbus in the first round, Tampa Bay. They've had some moves: added Maroon, added Shattenkirk, lost Miller, lost Callahan, and they're getting close with Braden Point, according to LeBron, but it's still not. When I say getting close, it's more like they're not yelling at each other, but like
5.7 times 3 is, as per LeBron, as you were mentioning, is a laughable contract.
they need to add
If
like
Mitch-
$3
if-
million to that minimum.
They need to add like 5 million to that.
I know. I'm just if you base it off Marner, yes. If you base it off what the Bruins are doing, $8 million's good. Well, $9 million, but
No,
they're
no,
having
no, no, no.
issues.
You're comparing defensemen to forwards right now. Don't even talk about it.
I come from
You can't compare Charlie McAvoy to Mitch Marner.
And I mean,
And on a bridge deal where it doesn't even take him past his RFA years.
What's Morgan's
Same with Brock Besser. Doesn't take him past RFA
Morgan
years.
Riley?
yeah.
For
What's
None
Morgan?
of
four and a
those
half.
contracts that have
That's
been
a
signed for
steal.
those
Yeah,
bridge
fucking
deals.
right.
Okay,
Sorry.
whatever. That's okay.
No, I'm just saying. I was trying to figure
Fuck
out.
you, Ian.
I was trying to figure out what other defensemen are paid.
But none of the contracts that have been signed, neither the Brock Besser, Charlie McAvoy, or Werenski or Provorov, take them past their RFA years, which Mitch Marner does 3 UFA years, which are way more valuable years to have than
In
your
the prime of
RFA
his
years.
career.
And I think that the Canucks only did this because they don't have the cap space to do it, which is going to put them in cap hell later. But they just didn't have enough money to pay him anything else. They're literally at $0 or something on cap space. after
Yeah,
signing that
and
contract.
I mean, we were talking about this morning, Ian. Jim Benning is a great GM until July 1st, where he is like, okay, I'm going to go and spend all my money on 3 garbage players. So I totally agree. We'll get into Vancouver next week when we get into the West Coast, but the Brock Besser deal is topical. It's an absolute steal. I think broccoli is fantastic.
I like that. That's a good one.
And yeah,
What are your expectations for Tampa? I mean, can 128 points? Can they be better than 16 losses and with 4 overtime losses?
I don't think they're going to do better because it's just like I don't think that they're not going to be as good of a team.
I think they're going to be first place.
Yeah, I also think that, but I don't think that repeating a season like that is possible, really,
Yeah.
because 62 wins is already a record,
Yeah, no, it's
and especially with 4 overtime losses, like man, come on,
The-
you
like,
can't.
they're still going to win the President's Trophy. I just think they'll be more human in their points totals, probably around 115 or 116.
And
they
they also
only got 116 points. They're so trash.
and they also got fairly lucky last year with injuries, or I guess lack thereof. So
exactly, and both goalies were firing on
Yeah.
all cylinders all year.
So there's a couple things can go wrong, and I mean I think they'll still be a playoff team. Obviously, they'll be a division winning team.
Really?
I just don't think they'll even with injuries.
way,
they could
dude.
still be that.
They're not making the playoffs.
Well, we'll talk about it. I mean, we're going to talk about biggest
Sens are
fallers.
making the playoffs. Sorry.
They have a 0.002% chance to win the cup according to the
Sens?
Athletic. Yeah.
Oh, dumb.
I'd put it less than that.
Really?
Literally, I think
Yeah.
there's 0%. Like, I legitimately think there is no possible.
I mean, I think mathematically they have to because they're icing a team, but beyond that,
No, but
We're-
mathematically, if like something catastrophic enough to allow the Ottawa Senators to make the playoffs, which would be like 8 teams in each conference losing all of their good players to like injury or some type of disease, your team would also be included in that, making them also equally as shit.
but then they'd be all on the Ottawa Senators playing field. So
No,
So
but because you guys would also get worse than what you already are, because the plague
It's
would
not
hit you
that
guys
that is
too.
not possible. It is not possible.
okay, we're moving on to Boston.
Can't get worse than
We got.
what
we're,
they
we're
are.
talking. We're talking Ottawa. We're talking Ottawa later. Let's just go on to Boston real
I
quick.
just wanted to say something about Kevin Shattenkirk because I think that is
Okay.
a very interesting contract.
Then go ahead.
I think that the Kevin Shattenkirk deal is exactly a Tampa Bay move, and it's going to work out fantastically for them, and I'm going to kill myself.
It's such a good deal for both sides, but it's not that really good of a deal for Shattenkirk. I think he could have made more money.
The
But he went
Patrick
to
Maroon
Tampa.
contract is dumb, too.
Right? I was like, are you kidding me?
And I already know the Braden Point contract is going to be dumb and going to infuriate
It's gonna
me.
be like 6.3 mil or something.
Man, he's going to... Yzerman is going to convince... He's going to convince... Is it still Yzerman?
Yeah, I think he's gone.
Well, the GM in Tampa Bay, I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Yeah, isn't he with Detroit now? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that. Anyways, I think the GM in Tampa Bay, who is Marshall, check that for me, is going to convince Braden Point to sign for like league min times 8 years just because Tampa Bay, they're
Julian
salary cap doesn't apply.
Bribos. Julian
Julian
Breeze.
Brisbois.
Yeah,
No, Briz boys.
yeah, I was gonna say very.
That'd be so funny. What's up? My name's Julian Briz boys. Okay, this is why we're not gonna get popular, because I'm here and I say shit like this.
You're like.
Continuing on,
Nah.
so Kevin Shattenkirk was a great deal.
Yeah, so that's what your interesting thing was that it's a good deal that makes.
Yeah, it's a very Tampa Bay move. That
no,
the sign
It's
that
not,
the
it's
that
not
the
that it's a Tampa Bay move. It's an anti-Leaf thing to do.
no, it's a Tampa Bay move.
No, because also again,
Shut up.
I get,
Shut up.
I get,
You're
it's a
wrong.
different position. But now moving on to Boston.
It's also just not right.
moving on to Boston.
Tampa
These are
just gets good contracts.
2 good
It's not
deals
fair.
in Boston.
Toronto was really good at found money.
Remember when Steven Stamkos was going to sign with Toronto, and then he signed for less money in Tampa because he was like, I want to stay in Tampa, even though Toronto's his hometown? That's what I mean. Tampa.
So he did the opposite of Tavares.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Tampa just gets that shit because it's Tampa, and they're
Well,
always good, and they're
it's-
always going to win the cup, and then they never do.
sunny and less taxes. So I don't blame them.
Yeah, but then you get people with guns around in your neighborhood because it's America.
And you
Okay.
also have to live
Okay.
in Florida.
Okay, Boston.
yeah, literally, you got to live in Tampa.
Moving on to Boston, please. I beg of you. McAvoy and Carlo, are you okay with their deals, or do you think they're too Boston-y?
Oh, they're so
Too
dumb.
Boston.
They're so dumb.
Well, the other deals are too
No,
Tampa.
I think that the McAvoy contract's fair. I think it's a little bit underpaid because I think McAvoy's a great player, but I think it's a bridge deal. So when they get to the end, it's gonna be a lot of money then.
Yeah.
So they're in cap. They're in cap haven right now. 3 years from now,
Boston sees their window as
we'll
these
see.
next 3 years.
man, everyone sees their windows these next 3 years though.
Not Ottawa.
Okay, contender. Okay, that's true. Contenders see their good teams have their window right now.
Respectable teams.
Yes, middle to top teams all think that their time can be right now.
Guys, this right here is why we do preseason podcast, because just like the players, we're still warming up.
I haven't talked about stuff that's important to other people for a while, so like, give me a break, man. I don't know what's going through my head all the time. But the RFAs, Charlie McAvoy, Brandon Carlo, great deals for Boston. I think that they are going to be a contender this year. I think that if Tuukka Rask just can stay healthy, they have a chance to go to the Cup final again, probably maybe win the Cup. You don't know. They'll play the Leafs first round because that's what always happens, and it'll be fun. But who's going to have home ice advantage this year? Boston, because that's how it works.
It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun.
I'm going to enjoy it very much. You, Seb? Well, Seb's giving the thumbs up. He's also going to enjoy
Marshall,
it.
I'm going to burn down your room, and it's going to burn down the whole house, and I'm going to die too, but it's okay because you died
Yeah,
too.
we learned that Ian does not get woken up by smoke alarms. Seb, you good now?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun time watching these two suffer.
Yeah, April is exam season, but it's also watching these two suffer season, so it equals out. I don't know how you guys
Last year,
do
I
it.
had mono during the playoffs, and I don't miss games, and I tanked the mono to watch through it, and then we lost in Game 7.
Wasn't
so you
even
know
worth
what?
it.
Wasn't even worth it.
Gosh darn it.
It's okay. We'll see if Karras breaks up with you after all the yelling in the playoffs this year.
Man, she was some way dumber shit than that, so it'll be okay. Don't worry.
Speaking of dumb shit, Ottawa. And
You
I
know-
can say it because I'm a Sens fan.
You know, Marshall, we might
Wait,
not be
are the
in
Bruins
mid-season
gonna do
form.
better or worse?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Boston. Better or worse?
107 points?
They had 107 points. They were second in the division, and they made the Stanley Cup final.
Worse. They're not worse in terms of playoff success. I think they're still going to be second in the division. I think they're going to go out in the first round.
I think 107 points is about where they're going to be. I don't see them venturing too far off. They had almost double wins as they
Plus
had
minus
losses.
3 from 107. Or 105 plus minus
Yeah, it'll be in the same.
100 to 110.
It's going to be in the same neighborhood.
Okay. I'll gamble a little more. I'll say 106 plus or minus 3.
So you're gambling more by taking less of a range. Okay, I'll take that too.
No, but you're
10
giving yourself more of a range.
Yeah, I know. So you're gambling more by taking less of a range. So I'll one up you.
Okay.
And I'll say 104.
On the number. All right. Do you want
I'm
to
a
go on? Do you
gambler
want a
here.
number exactly, Declan?
No.
Okay. Well, anyway.
This is why we can't have nice things, Marshall.
This is why Mom doesn't fucking love you.
All right, so
Speaking of not loving anything, seriously, I am just anything bad can be brought back to Ottawa. Like we have Nikita Zaitsev and Ron Hainsey now.
I'm so impressed with
Why?
your transition game. Sorry.
Yeah,
Why do
Marshall,
we
you
have-
really are in
I'm
mid-season form?
Why
eh?
do we have Zaitsev and Hainsey? Tell me.
Because you're just the Leafs' shittiest players from last
Are
year.
we your farm system now?
Yeah.
No, you're our like post-retirement system.
Ah.
Like, we just send you our broken parts.
Like, well, I mean, Connor Brown's not bad.
Yeah, but he's not getting better.
Fair enough.
He's just like is.
Fair enough.
He just is. Also, Nikita Zaitsev is on your top line of defense.
Man, so is Cody Ceci. We can't say shit. Just like
Yeah, but he's playing with Morgan Riley.
Here's the thing, though. I think
he's playing with Thomas Chabot.
Morgan Riley's better than Thomas Chabot.
Won't be in 3 years,
No, we'll
2
see.
years.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think yes, our team does suck, but getting rid of Cece, getting rid of Condon, getting rid of Smith
Dude, you got rid of Ceci for the same contract for more years.
again, but we are gonna suck for a while, and I don't love that trade. I understand that, but we have Connor Brown, we have Callahan, we have Artem Ansimov, whatever the hell his name is. Anisimov.
Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky.
It's my favorite segment on this podcast.
Names with Marshall.
I'm just at a loss. Like 64 points. Can they do worse? Will they do worse?
That's what I was saying. I was thinking about like predictions, and I was like, can they get worse than this? Yes, they can.
Because remember, they
and
had
they will.
they
You
had
know, like Kyle
Duchesne.
Dubas, like in the great words of Kyle Dubas, we can and we will get worse.
59 points is my bold prediction.
You
for
think
this.
under 60?
Dude?
Under 60.
Man, have you seen their roster?
You
It's
guys
worse
won
than last
30
year.
almost 30 games last year. There's no way you even touch 25.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless Anderson is fantastic.
Dude, your ads are so poo.
ads?
Like your additions to your
Oh.
squad have nothing of sustenance. It's just like placeholders.
Man, I
Connor
don't know about
Brown.
that. Connor Brown and Tyler Ennis, I think, will will
Man,
do
but they're going to be
very
playing on the
well.
second line. They're third line at best players, more like fourth line.
Yeah, but do you remember how many
And you
points
can't
Parenthouse
play
scored?
a fourth line against a second line of the Leafs. Can't work. Or
Yeah, but-
another good team.
Yeah, but the Leafs lose to the Senators
I know,
all the
but
time.
we're not going to talk about that. But that's recency bias.
That's the only thing I want to talk
That's
about.
recency bias. So okay.
No, that's
well,
like
I'm saving,
that's like
I have
last
stuff,
3
I have
years.
stuff for trivia later. But
That's
like
that's
okay.
last 3 years when
Yeah.
Toronto's been at their best.
Yeah, I want to go. Okay, well, never mind. Okay, we'll continue
right.
that later. But
So
fuck the Sens are going to do worse.
I know. All right. So
I think the big addition is DJ Smith. For the
good or
Sens.
bad? It's an addition. Is it good or bad?
The big addition is DJ
Big
Smith.
doesn't mean
or
good.
bad?
You're hesitating, Declan. Why are you
Good
hesitating?
if you don't let him touch the power play or penalty kill.
So a 5-on-5 specialist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've had
Yeah.
issues in the past with assistant coaches being in charge of that, and we had to change it multiple times the past 2 years. So we'll see how this goes.
I think your
I think
biggest-
they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be worse.
Really? You think it can be better or the same?
I think they're going to have 65 points.
Really?
Really aiming high.
59 is not that much worse than 65. That's 3
We
games.
have to go back to 2016, 2017 when a team had under 60, and that was Colorado, who was historically bad.
That's 6 games in overtime that you lose. No? Colorado had 49 points. didn't
48.
they?
48.
48.
I just
yeah.
checked.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
So I think 59's
Oh,
generous as fuck.
comparatively,
right
yes.
now. like I'm being generous for your team.
I don't
Man,
know.
that team had McKinnon on it.
Watch this. 80 Senators 85
Sens
points.
winning the cup this year.
Sens squeaking in the playoffs 93 points.
I want
Beat
to
the Leafs first round.
see if I can find it here. I want to get.
I hope the Sens get 69 points this year.
Nice. Man, producer Seb also said nice, but you can't hear that through the mics. Well,
What-
if you can.
What do you think the odds are for Ottawa to win the Stanley Cup
You said
according
like
to
0.000.
Bodog? Like
Who's
gambling.
Bodog?
They're a gambling site.
1,000 to 1.
Wait. 750 to 1.
They're plus 20,000.
I don't know what that means.
That's 20,000 to 1.
Oh,
No.
No,
Is
it's not.
No.
But it's. I don't.
It's like isn't it
Yeah.
2,000?
It's not good.
It's not good.
Not good. It's,
1,500.
Because minus is like being a favorite.
yes. No one's favorite. Tampa has the best odds
And
at
what is it?
750.
750?
Yeah.
Man, I guess that for the Sens. I'm terrible at this.
Anyway, all right. So now we're gonna do basically a rapid fire of all the remaining teams because again, I mean we care, but
not at all.
Not really. So Florida, last year they had 86 points. They finished 10th in the conference. They missed the playoffs, but 2 big additions: Bobrovsky and Quenneville. Will they be better? Will they make the playoffs with a consistent goalie and a coach with a pedigree?
Yes.
I also think they're going to do better and make the playoffs.
All right, fair enough.
Wild card
Wild card. All right, that's fair enough.
I think they'll challenge
for a third.
for third in terms
they won't
that they'll
get
be
it though.
10 points within 10 points of Boston or Toronto.
Do you think they'll be the best of outside
the rest.
Yeah, the best of the rest outside the big 3. All right, that's fair. Buffalo had 76 points, finished 13th in the conference, but they have also added a new coach with a little less pedigree, Rolf Kruger, but not a bad coach. Also added Marcus Johansson, Colin Miller, Brandon Monitor, and some guy named Curtis Lazar. I don't really want to talk about him. Buffalo, will they be better?
No.
I think they'll get more points, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
I am agreeing with Ian on that. They will.
Like, I think they'll have like 80 to 85.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be like
Trash.
worse. Yeah, like I don't think they'll be like awful because This was bad this year. Like it was bad.
I just don't think they've addressed their main concern, which is in net.
That is fair.
Which is
Yeah, but they
regardless-
got Bogosian.
Oh, Bogo for Norris.
But they got Zach.
Sorry,
Bogo.
how could I say that? Bogo is gonna win. He's gonna win the Conn Smythe without
Norris,
even-
Conn Smythe, Hart.
without even
Ted
participating
Lindsay.
in the playoffs.
He's just gonna sit at home watching with like a torn ACL. He's gonna injure himself in January and still get a cup ring.
Good for him. The Montreal Canadiens.
La Habitant.
They were first man out, had 96 points. They were out by 2, but I think even if they tied Columbus, they would have lost in the head-to-head for making the playoffs. So they were really 3 points out. They've added a couple guys, Keith Kincaid, Ben Sherrod, Nate Thompson. This is, I think, the most bubble team that, like, it's all depending on Carey Price's health and the coaching of Claude Julien, in my opinion. And if Shea Weber's not a slow piece of shit.
I'm going to say that they're worse this year.
I
They
think
look like they were on the upswing, but I don't think so.
I don't like the moves they've made this offseason, but I don't think they'll be significantly worse, but I also don't think they'll be significantly better.
You don't believe in Popeye's ability to get new and better players?
No.
Okay.
No. I think they'll be right around 90 points.
So not in, though.
Not in the playoffs. I think they're going to miss out.
Yeah, I think between Florida getting better, Carolina, Columbus.
We didn't go to Metro yet.
I know. I'm
Just
just
wait,
saying,
just wait.
I just think because of the other teams, they will not be in. The last team in the Atlantic Division are the Detroit Red Wings, who, while not as bad as Ottawa, not great, not good. They were 14th in the conference. They had 74 points. They've added a bunch of players though, including Madison Bowery, Patrick Nemeth, Lazary Fippa.
You say Bowie? Hold
Bowery.
on.
How do you say
Bowie?
that? Bowie.
Madison Bowie.
I don't know. I can't speak.
This is a fun list of names.
This is so
yeah,
good.
I'm looking at these names like I can say Calvin Picker, but I don't know when he
Heroes?
was added. Heroes?
Nemeth?
No.
Wait. Valtteri what?
Filppula.
Oh,
Okay.
Didn't he play for the Sens? No.
No, I thought
No,
it
he
was
was
Tampa.
lightning.
It was
Yeah,
Tampa. Tampa and the
That's why I know, 'cause
Flyers.
it was in division, so I saw his name enough.
What's the last name, Marshall,
For who?
on this list?
Hero.
That's pretty close.
That's pretty good,
Ian
yeah.
said it like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Do you think they'll be better than 74 points?
no.
I didn't think they improved at all this offseason.
No.
They could prove me wrong, but I think they're going to do worse and get 70 points.
I always cheer for them because of Jimmy Howard. I don't like what they have in front of Jimmy Howard right now, though.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be 70 points.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fight between them and Ottawa for last place.
Man,
well,
clearly Ottawa.
I
Don't
think
even,
they'll be
we
making up
finally
the
have
numbers.
A first round pick, so let's have this. Let's have
Yeah,
this.
Marshall's-
Man,
I'm ready.
you're gonna come last and get 4th pick.
No, that already happened last time. We're good. That's not going to happen.
Is
this
it going to be the
time.
reverse Edmonton Oilers?
What?
Where they finish first and won all of them all the time?
Oh,
Is
every
you
time.
guys going to
Well,
finish
they-
last and
they,
not ever
uh,
get first?
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. It's a long ways away from the draft lottery in like April. Another team though contending for the draft lottery, or maybe not. I think this is the biggest bubble in the Metro. The Rangers.
I think they're gonna do better.
I think it all depends on Lundqvist.
I
and
think they're going to comfortably make the playoffs.
Yeah, I also
I don't
agree
think
with
they're
that
gonna comfortably
because
make the playoffs.
if you have Lundqvist in net, I know he's getting older, but I still think he's a brick wall. And even if he doesn't have a great season, all he has to do is have a decent season. And with Panarin in front of him and Capo Caco, I think they're in real contention. Not for a cup, maybe, but to make the playoffs. And once you make the playoffs,
I think-
St. Louis.
And I think Panarin is arguably one of the best wingers in the NHL, if not the best winger in the NHL.
Mitch
That-
Marner.
I
Ovechkin.
think I said arguably
Okay.
that
Brock Besser.
the broccoli. That I think 78 points it is not anywhere close to where they'll be. I think they'll probably add 20 points to that. I think they'll be closer to 98.
Mikko
And
Rantanen.
98 is what made it last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be in the playoffs. I think they'll be 90. I honestly don't think they're going to be as good as you guys think they will
I
be.
think the Rangers are the only team that did anything smart in the Metro this offseason.
Well, by smart you mean they got lucky with the lottery and decided and one guy decided he'd rather go to Manhattan than Long Island.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Who the fuck wants to go to Long Island, man? Especially after
I'm
they
gonna
treated
I'm gonna
Tavares
not
like that.
say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna move on to the Islanders, a team that is on Long Island, who somehow made the playoffs. And
Will not again.
Yeah, definitely will not.
Way worse.
Way
yeah,
worse.
They were they
Man,
they,
had a
they
crazy
swept
season.
Pittsburgh and then were swept by Carolina after finishing second in the division.
And Carolina's a bunch of jerks. So
God, bunch of jerks.
And they also got swept by Boston.
A lot of sweep.
That's
a lot
so
of
funny.
sweeping.
So many sweeps.
A lot of sweeps. So you think they'll be? You think the New York teams are going to flip flop?
I think they're going to be 30 points worse.
30 points.
Whoa. Okay, that's
Go
not
down
that
to
bad, yeah.
70.
I think they're an
Yes.
80-point team.
That's like Ottawa bad.
No, high 70s. High
Dude,
70s.
Okay.
59, Ottawa. Guarantee it. No
I-
way they're cracking 60.
One bet $5 on it.
Really?
$5.
I'm down. Let's do
Okay.
it. That'll be a funny bet.
I don't understand why they didn't keep what's his name?
Kevin Hayes?
No, their goaltender.
Lundqvist? Oh, Robin Leonard.
Thank you. Why they didn't keep Leonard and instead went for an older and worse version in Slabavoinov? Or not Slabavoinov, sorry.
Varlamov?
Yes.
Semyon.
Slebovoinov. Oh.
Semyon Varlamov. I also
Easy there,
don't
Marshall.
think
Comrade.
Derek Brassard is good at all.
No, he's not. He wasn't good with Ottawa.
And like a not Torts, definitely not Torts. My brain is asleep.
Trotz.
Trotz, thank you. His defensive style can cover some blemishes, but I think if they try and run Varlamov out, it's not gonna work. And Brock Besser. Fuck.
Can I add?
Matthew
'cause
Barzell
Barzal
is going to have to carry this team on his back.
Can you save Declan here?
Yeah,
Ian?
can you please
Barzal.
save me?
Oh, but also, I just really wanted to put in here because we were talking about Varlamov, and you're stupid with Russian names and stuff. There's a guy in the VHL. I don't know if you guys saw it. He got player of the game and like got an AK-47.
Yeah, I saw that.
Isn't that so funny?
That
And
is
I was
like
listening
that is peak Russia.
I was listening.
Russia is the most backward place on earth.
I know. I was listening to Spin Chicka's podcast, and Ryan Whitney made a funny comment saying that yeah, like in Russia, you get 10 player of the games, you get to shoot someone on the team.
That's actually known as the Putin law.
I thought it was so
It's funny how he always gets player of the game too.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
fun how that works.
Exactly.
The team that for some reason, I have more faith. Like I think you guys think of the Rangers. I think of the Devils.
What? Like doing better this year?
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, I like PK. I like Hughes. I like Gusov.
Show me your tits.
I think Simmons.
Did you see that video?
No.
Oh my God, Jack Hughes. So this is from a while ago. He's at this party and he's looking down at some girl that's talking to him. He goes, "Show me your tits," and he's
Some quality fun.
yeah, some quality. It's a quality video.
Totally legitimate. Totally not okay.
This podcast is really off the rails.
Yeah, but I disagree with you. I don't really like PK Subban. I think he's overrated. I think his contract's trash. But, he's going to add offense to that team, and I don't think they really had a lot of that on the defensive end. So that's a good move for them. Wayne Simmons was a big ad. Jack Hughes, super lucky. But I would have taken Kako. But I don't really think it really matters. We'll see in 2 years, Matthews, Line, and clearly Matthews won on this one because now Line is getting pissed that he should be on the first line. Did you guys see that? I saw an article Hockey Night in Canada posted that some Finnish reporter was saying that Line was upset. He was like, I should be playing with the best players, and that's why I'm not producing a lot. And I'm like, you should produce by yourself before you can get good players to produce with.
That's fair. That very much is fair. The Blue Jackets.
Way worse.
Yeah.
They don't have players anymore.
They've lost a couple.
That's the only reason I'm thinking why the Rangers are probably going to be able to make the playoffs. Because I think the Devils are going to get that third spot in the Metro. And I think because Islanders are out of the playoffs this year, so is Columbus. That's two Metro spots that are open. So that can be Rangers and Devils.
Or Carolina.
Carolina was already in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they snuck in the wild card.
Yeah, I only picked one wild card from the other.
You took the Islanders out.
Yeah.
So I think Carolina's going to take in the Islanders spot.
No, but I think that Carolina could be or somebody the top 5 or top 4 from what's it called? Metro are gonna make it top 4 from Atlantic. I think. I don't really know, but I think that it's Rangers, Devils, Hurricanes, and Penn. Ooh, Caps. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I
was
was
gonna say,
forgot.
you're
I
forgetting the
forgot
big
about
two.
the Cavs. I forgot about the Cavs.
All right. So while he figures this out, you think?
I think the Blue Jackets are going to be outside.
Yeah, no, they're going to be outside. There's no way they're going to get 98 points. It was a very nice run they had last year, only to lose in the second round to Boston. I mean, I like the Nyquist addition, but they lost way too many pieces
Yeah.
to make up for it.
Yeah, 1,000%. They lost their goalie. They lost. And Corpusala, they have good pieces there. Corpusala will be given his chance this year in net for Columbus. We'll see if he sinks or swims. But they lost Panarin, who, as I've already said, I'm a big fan of.
And Duchesne.
They lost Duchesne. They lost. Did Dzingel resign?
No, Carolina,
Dzingel went to Carolina.
who we're about to talk about.
Man, I don't think there's much else to say other than
No,
that.
they're
This is
definitely not
going
making
to be
playoffs.
a year to forget for Carolina.
I feel
70
bad.
points.
I feel bad for Torts and the team he's being handed.
Yo, but Werenski re-signed on a nice deal because Torts was like, if he misses fucking training camp, I'm gonna be pissed. And then the next day he signed.
That is a man who is scared of Tortorella.
I
And I
am
and
scared.
I do not blame him.
I am scared of Tortorella, and I've never met the man in
Same
my
with
life.
me. Same with me.
Man, I've been afraid of Torts since he tried to climb into the Flames dressing room to punch out
Yeah, no, I respected that though. Carolina, they were the first wild card team, but then they were swept by Boston in the final after having a good old bunch of jerks run. They've added Garner, they've added Dzingel, they've added Ryan.
Whoa,
Reimer.
hold on. Start that first one again.
Gardner,
Okay, I heard Gardner, and I was like, what's Gardner?
Jake Gardner.
It's
Also,
going to garner a lot of
I
respect.
wrote,
This
I
is
wrote Jack in
whack,
here,
like-
but I said Jake, so I want to say that. I
Jake
said it right.
Reimer.
James.
Why do you spell Jace?
Guys, can we talk about how Marshall Healy just spelt it Jake with a C?
No, I had Jack earlier,
Yeah,
I
and
took
then
out
he
the
put the
yeah,
K
well,
and
you know,
put an E.
it's not
making
about
it
it's not
Jace.
about what you're right. It's about what
'Kay,
you say. Which
I think the
can't do much
Hurricanes
better
aren't-
either.
I think the Hurricanes aren't going to make the playoffs this year.
I think you're very wrong.
Okay.
I think they're going to be a wild card team again.
I think they're going to be a divisional team.
Really?
Actually, no, yeah, divisional.
I think
Third?
they're going to be
You
the
think-
second best team in the Metro this
Whoa, you think they're going to be better than the Pens?
year. Yes.
I think they're going to.
I knew that it was going to be better than the Pens and not better than the Caps.
No, the Caps are the
because-
best team in the Metro.
Man, what if the Pens don't make the playoffs? That's a possibility.
It is in the realm of possibility. If Matt Murray can't put it together again this season,
Well,
I don't think they made.
That could
the
put
Pens had-
Devils and
the Pens had-
Rangers in the playoffs.
They traded Kessel this offseason, which I think is a massive move
Well-
to only their detriment.
But the Malkin would not play with Kessel.
They also added
Yes.
Eric Goodbudson, who is not good, and
Galchenyuk,
Brandon Tanev, who is like meh.
very much man. I think 100 points. Pens. I think they'll be around that. I don't know if it will be. I think it'll be a little bit better. They're a team that I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen. Like I don't have faith in them to like finish first or second, but I also think they're gonna make the playoffs.
I think they're a wild card team.
Okay, that's fair. Do you think the Penguins are a wild card team, Ian?
All depends on Murray. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I'll say that the Hurricanes aren't going to make the playoffs, and the Pens will. With the Devils and Rangers, I think it'll be really tight between the Hurricanes, Devils, Pens, and Rangers. Between all four of those teams, because I think the only team that is like pretty much guaranteed to be probably first in the division is Washington. They are the best team there, and they didn't really lose all that much.
Yeah.
And
no.
they got a couple okay players. And Tom Wilson looks sick in the preseason. Well, I don't know, only one game, but he made a dope-ass move last night.
He also hasn't got suspended, so that's already better than last year.
Right? I know.
Now,
Man, I think he has a bad rap.
Man,
well,
I think he likes to bean people in the head.
yeah, I'm with Declan on that one.
I think he's a really nice guy, though. I think he just gets heated on the ice.
Well, yeah, you can be a great, like Brian Marchand's a nice guy. Paul Bissonnette was a nice guy. Whitney, just
Man.
Yeah, you could be a good guy and still do horrible things on the ice. You can still hit Oscar
I
Sundqvist
wouldn't
from
s-
behind.
I
You
wouldn't.
can still jump into
Bertuzzi
Zach
someone.
Aston Reese.
Bertuzzi someone.
Yeah, you can Bertuzzi someone.
He never got a silver stick for 1,000 games in the NHL.
I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, no,
104 points. Will the Caps be better?
They don't feel that bad.
yes,
Dickheads. They're
but
like,
not significantly
Bertuzzi,
better.
Fuck
Yeah,
you
like
guys.
108
I like
at most.
Bertuzzi.
You can like a guy, but still admit he has flaws.
Yeah, you
Dude,
can
everyone
still
has fucking flaws.
you can
Yeah,
still
but
like the guy and admit
My
that
flaws
he
aren't
punched somebody in the
yeah,
head.
my flaws aren't assaulting someone and ending their career. At least not yet. Lastly, Philadelphia.
Making up the numbers.
I think they'll do better, but it'll be like a little bit better. It's not going to be like playoff changing better.
Yeah,
I
making
think it's
up the
exactly what they did. 11th in the conference, probably about 80 something points.
I-
Like
I-
82 points is super average. That's like not making the playoffs.
Man,
That's
I
fair.
think a good year for them is having one goalie finish the year.
Carter Hart.
Don't need to go to the fiasco that was 7 goalies last
don't
year.
expect him to be Carey Price, but just be his own guy.
Yeah.
He'll be good. All right. So
reasonable.
those were all of the previews. Who will be the biggest climber from each division?
From the Atlantic, for me,
Yeah.
the biggest climber is going to be Florida. I think they're going to make their way into the playoff hunt this year. I really like a lot of their additions. I think it all depends on Bobrovsky, though. Bobrovsky is either fantastic or the worst goalie in the league, so depending on which Bobrovsky shows up, we'll see.
All right. And who do you think from the Metro?
It's going to be either the Devils or the Hurricanes, and I'm just going to say the Devils because I can see them sneaking in to the playoffs in a wild card spot, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they missed out.
Yeah. I have Devils as the biggest climber in the Metro just simply because they're second last, so it's hard for them to be worse. I love their additions. And I think Florida will be the Atlantic team that climbs it the most.
In the Atlantic, it's climbing wise. I think that the Sabres in Florida probably have a similar amount of climb that they can do this season. But I don't think the Sabres are going to make the playoffs, and I think the Florida Panthers will. So I'm saying Florida's going to be the biggest climbers. But points wise, I think they'll probably be about even. They'll probably both gain about 10 to 15 points on their seasons. Hoping that everyone stays healthy. But in the Metro, the biggest climber, you can't argue that it's the Devils. Like, you can argue against it, but that's fucking stupid because
I
everyone
mean-
else in the Metro got way worse except for them who added
And the
everybody.
Rangers.
And the Rangers.
And I don't think
But the
Hurricanes
Rangers-
got way worse.
Who?
The Hurricanes.
They didn't get way worse.
They didn't get worse, but
but
they didn't get that much better.
They added Gardner.
I like that
That's-
addition. I think
Yeah.
It's a good
Gardner's
one, but like they
phenomenal.
already have a lot of offense.
Yeah. Well,
Like, they could use some shutdown.
who?
But, like, I guess he's on a good contract. I'll give it to him. Like, Gardner's great value.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I'm
If
not saying
his
he's a
back
bad-
works, that's
If.
the big question.
Who do you think will have the biggest fall in each division? I think it will be the Islanders, and it will be. Well, it's hard to tell in the Atlantic. 'Cause, like, I don't like Tampa, Boston, Toronto. I don't think they're gonna fall, and then no other Atlantic team made the playoffs, so it's kind of hard to like. Maybe Montreal, but like that's not even like
It's not even a big fall.
like I almost think like
Can't get worse.
Ottawa is almost away because they're gonna
That's what I was gonna say.
because they're gonna have less points.
Fuck,
a little bit.
literally what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Ottawa because they're not even gonna crack 60.
They're gonna get the 60.
Man, if they're gonna get 60 on the dot, and I'm gonna be so
It's gonna
mad.
be amazing. Who do you think the Metro will have the biggest fall?
Probably the Pens
Okay, so I say Islanders. Ian says Pens.
or
Declan?
Islanders.
I think the Islanders are
No,
going to
wait.
be.
Sorry, no. I Blue Jackets. Fuck me. Obviously, the Blue Jackets are gonna be the biggest fall.
That's fair. I think the Blue Jackets, sure. And we all are in agreement that the winners in
That
the
it's
division
the-
will be Tampa and Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Tampa or Toronto.
Tampa.
Toronto.
4 ways you can say Toronto, depending on how close you live to Toronto.
Yeah, it's in terms of kilometers out. There's
Yes.
different ways to say it.
Beyond 500 kilometers, it's Toronto. Because 500 kilometers encases Ottawa, it encases Windsor, it encases a small portion of Maine,
Buffalo.
Buffalo,
Detroit.
and like Niagara
Yeah.
Falls.
Upper State New York.
So it like those people do say
No,
Toronto.
No,
They say Toronto, but people from Toronto say Toronto.
Yeah, but no, people in the States, though,
Toronto.
like, will still say Toronto. But if you're in Canada, you drop one of the T's.
Yeah, you drop the second. There's only you always no. People from Toronto say it
Yeah.
Toronto. People from within 500 kilometers, I think, say Toronto. They don't say the second T, but they do the whole Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto. Yeah, that's what I say Toronto.
Yeah,
It's-
see?
it's a hard T,
See?
soft
Fucking
second T.
Hard
Toledo.
T and an introduction of another R
Yes.
because it becomes Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah,
And if you're in the States, it's Toronto.
Toronto.
It's like you're saying it properly.
or like across Canada or in the Atlantic.
yeah, that's
Yeah, if
fair.
an Albertan's on like a long rant about why they hate Toronto, they will go, you know what? I dislike the Liberals in Toronto.
and Toronto.
Screw Alberta. All right, so now, last episode, Ian won trivia.
Let's go, boys.
So
Big 1-0 on the season right now. Are we gonna do a scoreboard this year? I think we should.
Yeah, but
I
we're
think
gonna
it
start.
restarts
We're gonna
now.
start when.
Start now or
Start
start during
now?
the
Starts
season?
now.
Okay,
It's-
I'm down.
it's new season. This is part of the new season. We're working at the kinks.
Okay, perfect.
So
I have set up trivia for tonight,
yes.
and I think I have 3. Do you guys want to do the winner of 3 different types of trivias, or the winner of just one type of trivia? Because I have 3. They're all not long. Like, they won't take long. But we could do, like, best of 3.
I think it's all trivia. Like
Okay,
the
perfect.
trivia section. Whoever wins trivia that night wins.
Picks. I can
the
do whatever I
majority
want.
of them.
Yeah.
So I get to do whatever I want. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm doing what I want. So
Okay, yeah.
the first trivia is going to be a best of 7 questionnaire. It's about the Battle of Ontario. It's just questions giving. You guys are gonna write them down. Use like half your paper so you can save the other half for the second part of trivia or third
we
part of
can-
trivia,
Use the back.
or just use the back. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. So, write them down so you can't cheat when you do shit. So I'm gonna ask the first question. What was the first year they met? This should be pretty simple.
Like met
Like it to get like playing in the regular season. Not the new Senators, not including the
so
1904.
regular season, not playoffs.
Yes, first time they played against each other.
New pens. The year was 1924, and penicillin was just invented.
Do you guys both have your answers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Declan.
1991.
Wrong.
Yeah, it's 1982.
92.
1 for Marshall. Boom. Second one. What was the arena they met in? Like, see, like this is good. I like this.
one of 2 options.
Is it? I don't know. Figure it out.
It was definitely the Penicillin Arena.
There's like, and give the name.
Regular season?
It's the same game.
Okay, but like so
It's the same game that they met for the first time. What was the first arena they played in? Come on, boys.
I'm gonna do.
It's like there's
something-
not that many arenas.
I'm gonna do the one that Declan won't pick.
Penicillin Arena.
Ooh, I'm excited because I don't know.
All right,
Don't cheat.
I
Did you already write
already
it?
wrote my
Okay.
answer down.
So, Marshall.
the Civic Arena at current Lansdowne.
No.
Okay.
Maple Leaf Gardens.
Boom.
It was it was like I was
Yeah.
either the old arenas.
I didn't know what the old one was named, so I had to go with the
You had to
Gardens.
go with the. That's funny.
I knew.
The one that's a Loblaws now.
Which team has the longest win streak? And it doesn't really matter, but how many games was it?
like total or against each other.
The win streak against each other, not
Okay.
total.
And then how many games?
And how many games was it? So
Is
it's
it an
like,
extra point if we get it right?
yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah,
You give me an FOH?
I'll give you a nice high five.
Crisp high five.
This is.
All
Do
right.
you guys both have it?
Yes.
All right, Declan.
I said the Sens an 8.
I had the Leafs an 8.
Sens and 7.
Ooh.
So
I'm,
Declan.
I'm not upset I got that wrong though. I
I
like how we went for the opposite teams. Like we are not confident.
No, I know my team loses against your
Yeah.
team.
Okay, and this next question is: how many times have they met in the playoffs? Man, I thought of some good ass questions.
I have my answer.
I have mine.
Okay,
4.
I also had 4.
you're both correct.
Thank you, Seb, from the
So-
the galleries clapping. Thank you.
In regular season, playoffs, any meeting with the new 2 teams, what is the largest victory and who was it? Like, who won the largest victory game? And then extra point for what the score was.
'Kay.
Both have it?
Yeah.
Yes.
you
Alright,
go
Marshall?
First.
Ottawa 8-0.
I had 7-2 for the Leafs.
Ooh. 2
You know-
points
You
for
know why
Marshall.
I know that? I was at that game.
When was that?
Oh, I cheated.
It was like the first or second season after the lockout, the full-on
Okay.
lockout. It was one of those first 2 years.
How many games have the Toronto Maple Leafs and Ottawa Senators met total?
Are we playing Price is Right rules?
No,
Just closest.
Closest.
$1.
And are we counting playoffs? or-
$1. Yes, playoffs.
Okay.
Were, man, I said that in the question, and you don't listen.
Okay.
Did I not say that in the question? I said all games, regular season, and playoff. How many times have they met total? Marshall's trying to
need-
do quick math
need a
to add up
calculator.
seasons. Like
I need a calculator.
Nope.
I took a quick guess.
Just take a quick guess, man.
I know. I literally. I am.
You have no idea.
I cannot come up with a number.
I'm gonna be horribly off base. I already feel it.
He wrote 69.
Like I would have no idea if I didn't have the answer beside me. Okay,
120.
203.
143.
Yeah, that makes
Marshall's the
sense.
winner. That was that. Like, I would have had no idea.
Yeah.
I probably would have guessed like 250.
I had no idea. I just,
Okay.
Simple guess.
And the last question. In 1904, the original Auto Centers beat Toronto to win the Stanley Cup. What was the name of the Toronto team? It is not the Leafs. Yeah, this is a hard one. Like I was confused.
I just put the only team that I can think of. That was.
Is it
before
the Toronto
Leafs.
Arrows?
I'm not saying anything.
Well, that's my answer.
Oh.
And Marshall has
Nope,
his
it's the
written down.
Toronto Marlboros. They were named after a
The
cigarette. Isn't that really funny?
The
I had the Patricks.
1900s are the strangest time. We
Right
truly
at-
live in the strangest timeline, man.
All right. What was your score, Marshall?
I had 5 with the bonus.
With the bonus, what did you have? 3? Oh, big sad. So
big sad.
Marshall's winning in trivia 1-0 out of these 3 games.
Yay!
Now-
Thank you, Seb.
The second is going to be chess type rules. You each have a minute to give your. It's going to be a top 20 list of active players in the NHL playoffs. Only playoffs. So I'm going to start. Declan, you're going to be player 1. Marshall, you're going to be player 2.
Okay, and you have the chess timer, so we don't have to deal with
Yes,
that.
I have the chess timer going.
Wonderful. What a good game.
so-
What a
boys.
great host.
Amazing.
Top 20
Of active players.
of active players in power play goals. 3, 2, 1. Declan.
Patrick Marleau.
Sidney Crosby.
Ovechkin.
Patrick Kane.
No.
Jonathan Taves.
Zdeno Chara. Patrice
Nope.
Bergeron.
Phil Kessel.
No.
Anze
Oh wait,
Kopitar.
no, sorry. Yeah, no, you were right. Sorry.
Okay.
Kopitar.
Nope.
Brown.
Which
Which
who?
Brown?
Oh, what's his name? JT Brown?
No.
not JT Brown. Fuck. Doughty.
Nope.
Joe Thornton. Brent Burns.
Nope. Nope.
Zdeno Chara. I already said that. Brad
Nope.
Marchand.
Nope.
Backstrom.
Nope.
Who else makes the playoffs regularly? Zach Parise.
Jason Spezza.
No. Sorry, he was 21. sorry.
Jamie Benn.
No.
Zach Parise.
He already said that.
Okay. Well, I was really hoping on that Jason Spezza. I really was hoping to ride that one.
Man, that was so close. 21. It's on the bottom of my screen.
Tavares.
Oh. Nope. Whoa, really?
on, Marshall.
Galchenyuk.
Nope.
Gallagher.
Nope.
Not Pajot. Oh, he's a dime in the playoffs. Eric Stahl?
No.
Jordan Stahl.
Okay, it's over.
Okay.
That
was good.
Malkin.
Yep. Yes.
Oh.
I
He's
had
first.
one more.
He's
I had
first.
one more.
You guys were missing Pavelski, Jeff Carter, Couture, Getzlaff, John
Corey-
Carlson, Kunitz, PK Subban, TJ Oshie, Steven
Why did I
Stamkos,
say PK?
We didn't say Stamkos.
Thomas Vanek.
Vanek, he still plays?
Says he's active.
I think he's on Minnesota.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's totally on Minnesota.
All right.
Cold like Minnesota.
Good job, Declan.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
That was
that was
good.
better than last time where I
That
just froze.
You're like, It's okay. So, my last trivia is going to be a top 10 list.
Oh, fuck off.
Now,
Can we just do?
no, it's not a top. Sorry, it's not really a top 10 list. But I want you guys, 2016 draft. Who were the top 10 picks?
2016
draft.
I don't know. I don't know. I know.
I know. So it's 1-1. This is the
I can tell you
tiebreak.
Declan's gonna win this.
Man, it gets hard. I was looking at them. I was like, I could do this easy. And then I was looking. It gets tough. I'm not telling you which teams picked where because that'll give away a lot. I'm like, probably.
No, I have nothing. I literally.
Nothing? 2016. Man, I don't want to give you anything,
No,
but
but I'm
a
thinking of
huge player got...
I'm thinking of a player, but I don't know if it's that year or if it was the year before. I'm.
It's not... I don't think it's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Wait, that's not the draft? Because that's the draft I totally thought it was.
Uh-oh.
2016?
Is that 2017?
No.
Okay, you guys are stupid. I think
No,
that you
that's-
guys
Oh,
both
no,
lose
no, no.
and
I
win.
I figured it out. I figured it out.
Dude,
Oh,
our franchise player got drafted in this draft. I'll give you it's the Matthews draft.
That's an unfair advantage. I totally figured that out after.
Both of you now know.
Okay, so I know
Because
Matthews.
neither of you... That's it, man? Really? There's so much
Does it
out of
matter?
this?
Does it
And then I
matter
know-
what
And then I
order?
know Lane.
Yes.
Okay.
1 to 10. It's tough. I remembered the top 5. That was all I had.
I've got the top 3.
No.
I don't know if you do have the top 3.
I think I do.
Okay, probably.
I remember there was a weird one in there.
I think I know. I think you're... I don't know. Honestly, like, it could be weird, could not be weird.
I'm not good with remembering draft years. Like,
I gave you
No.
the draft.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying that now. That's not
Just pick players, man. Fuck it.
okay.
Who's...
So, McAvoy is somewhere. Sure, why not?
Number 3.
That's all I
Did
got.
you just... I think this might be a blowout.
I've maxed out at 4. I have no clue.
Well, okay, so it's not a blowout because I have 2. But he's still gonna eat. You're still gonna beat me.
So
'cause I got
Matthews,
nothing.
Line 1-2.
All right, so I'm going to read through. Matthews is first. Line is second. Pierre-Luc Dubois. is
Yeah, I
number
got it.
3. And then fourth was Jesse Puljujarvi
Ah,
to the Edmonton Oilers, which was the big one.
I should have known that.
And then Oli Jolevi to the Vancouver
Oli Juolevi.
Canucks. Matthew Tkachuk to the Calgary Flames. Clayton Keller to the Arizona
I
Coyotes.
should have known that.
Alex Nylander to the Buffalo Sabres.
I wouldn't have got that.
Mikhail Sergachev to the Montreal Canadiens. And Tyson Jost.
Tyson
Yost or whatever. The next pick was Logan Brown for the Sens.
Was Pavel Zacha taken that year by the Devils? Who did the Devils take
What
that year?
position was Logan Brown taken?
Was what?
What,
11.
Yeah, I don't want to say that's
No,
why.
McLeod was drafted by the Devils.
Again, I'm saying this because I am not good at remembering draft years, but I think part of the reason I drew a complete blank is because Otto was not in the top 10. I was trying to think, like, when was Shabbat drafted? Like,
Oh,
I was
that makes
trying-
sense.
Because there was no reason for me to remember this draft because
Zacha was the year
there's
before.
no one big from this draft. Yeah, like this was a whatever draft.
McAvoy was the McDavid draft too.
No, McAvoy's this draft.
Oh, is he?
14th by Boston.
Is that the year they had 3 picks?
That's why I went with this draft and not the 2015 draft because I knew the 2015 draft was everyone was like McDavid and then Eichel and then everyone knows.
Yeah, McDavid, Eichel, what? Hannafin, Strome. No, McDavid,
Strome was 4.
Strome was no.
No, Strome
Hannafin was 4. Strome was 3.
Okay, well now you guys know if you ever want to just not have me win, just do
You
draft.
draft?
years.
I didn't know you
I
didn't
won
know
trivia.
shit like that.
I won trivia.
I'm proud of you, Declan. All
Good
right,
job,
so
Declan.
Thanks, buddy.
Declan wins the first of the season, even though I think we said last time that I won the first of the season, but whatever, we'll start now.
Oh,
Declan
we'll
wins
make it
1-0.
We'll make it next time that we start the season.
Okay.
Yeah, it's preseason, boys. Like we're
No,
still warming
We
up.
can be like that silly little game called soccer where there's like 7 different trophies.
7 different trophies?
Yeah, 7 different
Silly
trophies.
little game called soccer, the most viewed but the silliest.
The silliest of the silly.
It's like, you
Right.
know that sport that it's like horseback riding, but it's like not a real horse. They literally put the thing, like, you know, one of those stick with a horse head on top.
Like, you know,
They put it through their legs and they run around.
you know,
and
in
they
Monty
jump over
Python, do
stuff.
they have somebody run around?
Yeah. That's so funny.
Well, you know what? I think how I perform now is how the Sens are going to perform throughout the year. So,
This is a
Strong start.
this is a prediction for what's going to happen.
yeah. Anyway, you know what? This was a mess, but I enjoyed it. It's fun to be back.
Yep.
We'll be back next week with the Western Conference preview. Because we know that conference so well. We'll have very intricate details about the Wild, the Coyotes, the Kings, everything you need to know about them.
Those are
The
the
Kings.
only three Western Conference teams Marshall can actually name.
Well, those are the three
I
that
was
can
gonna
name the
do
least
part of the
about.
thing is just name as many NHL teams as you can off the top of your head. It's hard. I've tried to do it confident.
I
Like,
always forget the
division.
Wild.
The Wild. I always forget Wild and Dallas. I always
Dallas is
forget
who
the
I would
Stars.
forget.
I always forget the Stars.
Always forget the Stars.
Cause I'm like, who's in the Central? Like what?
If the Blues didn't win the Stanley Cup this year, I always forget them too.
Ooh, that's a big one.
They're just walking mediocrities.
Until they win.
Yeah, till they win.
Like you won today. Walking mediocrity. For Declan DeBart, Ian Blumenthal, producer Sept, I'm Marner. Talk to you next week.
Follow your hosts on Twitter at DeBart14, at Ian_Blumenthal, and at Marshall Healy. Don't forget to follow the podcast at Real Good Procast.